music. Whether it's the butterflies of hearing a love song on the radio, the danceable tune you can't sit still through, or the sentimental memory of a special band, our brains just can't get enough of it. So much so that the average person listens to 961 hours, or 57,660 minutes, of music per year, a number that's only been rising in recent years. But why is that? What part of music entertains the brain so deeply that we can't seem to put it down? And is this attachment one that is healthy to the brain that craves it? Well, let's take a moment to look into the psychology of music in the brain and find all the beneficial or detrimental ways it impacts us. Not just since our birth, but even before our birth, we show that we like music. A fetus starts to develop ears after about 24 weeks of conception, and very soon after will start to turn their head toward soothing, pleasant sounds. This includes their mother's voice and music. Let me be clear, I'm not suggesting you play your baby corn, as they've been shown to turn away from loud, harsh noises. Something classical and calming is more their vibe. We like music as early as the development of our ears. Turns out this is for good reason, too, since babies greatly benefit from hearing music at a young age. Lafont and his colleagues studied the connection between music and development in babies. In his study, he assigned a group of pregnant women to play roughly 70 hours of violin music up close to their stomachs. Mothers started playing the music at 28 weeks after conception and continued until birth. The development of these babies was tracked for 6 months after birth and found that the babies who listened to violin music were more advanced than their control group counterparts who listened to no music. These advancements included better motion control and vocal abilities. This then begs the question, does the brain continue to benefit from music when we're not dumb babies anymore? Yes, absolutely it does, but in more ways than you would expect. You've probably already heard about how playing music is beneficial to the brain, likely from your parents, comparing you to that smart cousin who plays piano at Thanksgiving dinner. But our brains still greatly benefit from music, even if we're not the ones playing it. Music is a rarity for the brain in the sense that it simultaneously activates almost all the brain's regions and networks. Frequently listening to music strengthens brain pathways and networks that are involved with well being, learning, cognitive functioning, and even quality of life and happiness. Music does more than just activate the auditory cortex. It activates memory regions, the motor system, and even synchronizes the parts of the brain involved with emotion. Music has also been shown to activate and strengthen the areas of your brain connected to sound processing, speech and communication, written and spoken language comprehension, improved memory and storage, emotion activation, and even rhythm processing and muscle coordination. The brain is also impacted with an increase in dopamine, the production of new neurons, and can even produce a lowered heart rate and blood pressure, particularly with calmer music. It's for these reasons that music has shown to be beneficial to patients who suffer with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and even mental disorders such as depression. But beyond this, does listening to music actually improve overall intelligence? Let's look at a couple studies to answer this question, starting first with Rocher's study on the coined term the Mozart effect. Rocher found that the participants who listened to 10 minutes of Mozart's piano sonata showed significantly higher spatial temporal reasoning skills, with mean spatial IQ scores of 8 and 9 points higher than that of their control group counterparts. Let's look to another Rocher study carried through on rats. In this study, a group of rats in utero, followed by a postpartum period of 60 days, would listen to the same Mozart's piano sonata. The results showed that the rats who listened to Mozart completed a maze test significantly faster and with fewer errors than their non-music listening counterparts. To test this theory myself, I ran my own short experiment with plants. I took 3 identical spider plants and placed them into 3 separate jars, labeled jazz music, punk rock music, and no music. In 3 separate rooms for 3 weeks, these plants would spend an hour a day listening to their respective music genre or lack thereof. But wait, Haley, I hear you say, the footage is cool and all, but why are we looking at plants? Aren't we supposed to be talking about humans? Good question, audience. Well, this idea sprouted, unintentional pun, from a sort of wives' tale I've heard from a lot of gardening friends that plants are generally healthier when given music to listen to. Many articles that I found took the side of classical music as well. Various studies showed promising results for the connection between plant growth and classical music, including Dr. T.C. Singh with her study on balsam plants and Dorothy Redelack's study on ornamental plants. Scientists have generally agreed that the vibrations of music can aid plants in a number of ways, including stimulation of cell and protein development and an accelerated speed in transporting food and nutrients. However, it's a debate on if certain genres could actually be bad for plant health. Interestingly, Dorothy's study showed a general aversion to rock music. Her plants were reported to have showed signs of wilt and decay after extended exposure to loud rock music. Not big fans of Nirvana, those ornamental plants. But, anyways, how true is this finding? Her book detailing this research, The Sound of Music in Plants, was published in 1973, not too far off from the big rock scare of the 50s. Could this have impacted the treatment of her results? Well, who better than me, an undergraduate college student, to hold my own experiment? Now, is this the most accurate means of identifying the relationship between plant growth and music? Well, no, not quite. There are a million factors that can impact the effectiveness of our experiment, but there is one notable benefit I could find to this specific experiment. The spider plant. Spider plants are special in the sense that they reproduce asexually, meaning that the spider plant babies that we start with are each exact genetic copies of their parent plant. For us, this can mean more accurate results since all three plants are genetically the same. So, basically, about the closest thing we get to twin experiments. But, more ethical. So, let me show you the results I garnered. or, gardenered.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, anyways, I was surprised to find that it was my rock plant who took a noticeable lead and finished off the race with the longest root growth between the other three. My classical plant was in second, but not too far off from my non-music plant. In fact, my results seemed to show the opposite from those of Redelac, with my rock plants showing zero decay or wither in their leaves, while my others displayed a few brown leaf ends. This just goes to show that maybe the emo phase is actually necessary in every middle schooler. Well, Mom, it may be a phase, but a positive one at that. Positive, yes, because more recent studies have actually taken the side of heavy music. One such study, by Leah Sharman and Genevieve Dingle, showed that listeners to extreme metal music were able to process angry emotions more efficiently after 10 minutes of listening to their music genre, finding that extreme music did not increase anger levels, but rather matched their physiological arousal and increased positive emotions in the participants. So, in conclusion, there really is no bad music taste, and any kind of music can have a multitude of benefits on the brain. So, next time you hear an old guy at the grocery store start the sentence, "Kids these days and their music," you'll know that he just needs a little more music in his life, and that it's probably not worth your time arguing. Anyways, I'm Haley Medeiros, and thank you for watching. This just goes to show that there really is no bad music taste, and any kind of music can have a multitude of benefits on the brain. So, next time you hear an old guy at the grocery store start the sentence, "Kids these days and their music," you'll know that he just needs a little more music in his life, and that it's probably not worth your time arguing. Anyways, I'm Haley Medeiros, and thank you for watching.